Oh, tech just jumped up. There we go. Look at that. All council members are present with the exception of Councilman John Dyack, who had to leave exec session early. Do we have any Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Girl Scouts in the audience? Any Scouts? Former
Scouts.
All right, we don't have any youngsters.
Oh,
Wait,
there
do we?
go.
Former Girl Scout?
Come on down.
Come on down. All right, you get to lead us. Come down up front right here. Today is Constitution Day. We do this every time we have a meeting, though, and you're going to lead us in the most important part of the meeting. Audience, please rise. You're going to lead us in honoring our flag. So we're going to turn around, and everyone in the audience is going to wait till they hear you start doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And when you start, then everyone's going to join in. Cool? All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Awesome. Great job. Way to go. All right, we have a couple special presentations tonight. The first one off, I'm going to invite our police chief, Mr. David King, to come on down. Yeah, you can give him a round of applause. That's all right. Whoop, whoop. We need walk-on music for bad boys, bad boys.
Hello.
What you gonna do?
Hello.
All right.
Mayor, Council, thank you, and good evening. Tonight, we have a special presentation from the Special Olympics. I'd like to call down Jan, come on up. And also, we brought some of our staff, and I'd like them to come down, especially Jim Serapis. Come on down. Greg, come on down, guys.
There's no hiding.
Come on.
We need more walk-on music.
Yeah, I know we do.
Thank you. I love all this moral
We
support.
stand behind you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mary Wade, for having me today. Jan Gordon with Special Olympics Colorado. I think I was here about 6 months ago presenting a hamburger trophy, if you remember that, for winning the Red Robin Tippecop. Tonight, this is a very special award. I'm going to read to you some of the accomplishments, and it's just a quick paragraph, but I just want to say Special Olympics does a Hall of Fame event every year, and we honor our male and female athlete of the year. We honor our volunteer of the year, our family of the year, and one of the major ones is our law enforcement agency of the year. And so this year we'll be awarding the Parker PD. But let me go ahead and just read to you a little bit about what they've done and why they've gotten this very prestigious award. The Parker Police Department has been a longtime supporter of Special Olympics Colorado and has been an active law enforcement torch run partner since 2003. Over the past 14 years, Parker law enforcement officials have participated in every law enforcement torch run event, including the torch run, the plane pull, the polar plunge, and numerous Tippecop events. They are always in the lead for highest fundraising Tippecop agency and won the Red Robin competition in 2016. With the leadership of Chief King and Deb Daly, the Parker Police Department is not only one of our top 10 agencies for fundraising, but the model agency for exemplifying acceptance and inclusion with our athletes in the Parker community. Their events often include all of the staff at the Parker Police Department, along with city officials and their public safety department. Not only are they a part of our Special Olympics Colorado family through LETR, but a few staff members are also serve as coaches and mentors to our athletes. They hold the Cops and Kids softball game every year with the Parker Power softball team. Yay. I shouldn't have done that.
You lost your space.
Plays unified with the Parker Police Department and other surrounding departments. The impact of the Parker Police Department and their caring and enthusiasm for Special Olympics Colorado athletes and their community cannot be overstated. We are honored to recognize them as this year's Hall of Fame Law Enforcement Agency of the Year.
Yay!
One thing, Mayor, that's so amazing about this group, and I kind of mentioned it in this paragraph that I had to read so I could remember everything that they've done, but is that you really, I love this town of Parker, I love the city of Parker, because you really do include everybody in what you do, and I really love that. I mean, literally, most agencies will kind of jump into something as an agency, but you include Elbert County, Elizabeth PD, Castle Rock PD, all the surrounding PDs, Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and also your public safety department, and also like your visitors and your city council. And anyway, Deb Daly does a great job of just pushing all of that out to everybody, and also as a coach for our Special Olympic athletes. So it just is a really special place, and we thank you so much.
Thank you very much for all you do. Really appreciate it, guys.
Would you like a photo? Yeah.
Sure. Come on down.
Okay.
As long as you all smile
Chairs.
real big smiles. Yeah, let Josh come back in the
I'll be in the back.
back.
Spot.
Next to Mike.
Middle?
You saying I smell? Is that what
Yes.
Hope Chris has a wide angle lens on that.
He knows it's on here.
Very nice.
All right, other pictures?
It was just a picture of you.
Oh, wait. Dave,
Parents
we
wanna
got some
come down?
parents taking pictures
You're
too.
welcome to come down closer.
Yeah, you can come closer if you need to.
No, ma'am, I'm good, thank you.
They have the zoom lens instead of the wide angle.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody good? All right.
All
good
right,
job.
thank you guys very much. Congratulations.
Take that one first.
All right. Now, the next item on our agenda, we have, it's really exciting. We have just gone through the Cities and Towns Week here in Parker, and it's something that happens all throughout Colorado. And part of the process that we have here is that we ask our kids in the area to create little posters that we can use to demonstrate what they like most about Parker. And we have our 3 winners here tonight. And my understanding is all 3 winners are here. So I'm actually going to come down there because it's a little bit easier to talk to you all from down there. So I have the 3 posters, and the winners of the poster design, I get to take them to lunch. So, and I'm buying. So I hope you like really cheap food. No, I'm just teasing. Just teasing. Nobody likes lobster, right? Okay, we're good. All right, so we're going to start with 3rd place. Our 3rd place winner is Michael Ma from American Academy. Come on down, Michael. I'm going to show to everybody. This is Michael's poster. It has our police department on it. And it says, "My town is safe because it is constantly patrolled by the police department. They are always going around to see if there is any danger." So come back here with council. Let's get a picture of you with your poster, and let's grab your 3rd place ribbon too. Give everybody a big thumbs up. Why don't you hold that poster for me since you're the one who colored it? All right, put that hand. Y'all go back here. Come back on this side. All right. Big smiles. Gotta get the police to run the picture.
Good smile.
All right, congratulations. All right, 2nd place, Avery Ruth. Now, Avery, what school do you go to? American Academy. We got a hat trick tonight from American Academy. All of these. So come on over here with me, Avery. So Avery's picture is super cool and awesome. You want to describe this to him? There is a long-haired, kind of your color hair, firefighter in here. She's putting out a fire, right? Mm-hmm. Excellent. Why don't you go ahead and hold that for me? On the back it says, can I read it for you? Mm-hmm. Okay. Try without my glasses, so if I get it wrong, you gotta say. It says, "My town is very safe. For example, yesterday there was a fire at the rec center, and the firemen put it out. There are so many things that the town has done for us, and I'm very thankful. Love, Avery. P.S. I am very honored to be writing to you. Even if I don't win, just writing to you, I feel like a winner. I moved to Parker a year ago, and the town is beautiful and well taken care of. Smiley face, heart." Wow. Wonderful. All right, finish up. All right, thank you. Let's show council. They want to see your drawing.
Do you look into me?
Look at how cool that is. Look at the eyes on it. Yeah, exactly. Good job. Oh, actually, we keep this because we're going to put it up in town hall. You get to have that. So you're good. All right. Did I give you your poster? Did I give you your poster? Yeah, I need to take that back because we're going to put them up in town hall for other people to see. Trust me, they were beautiful. No, we're going to actually put them up. All right. So our first place winner, something tells me you had a brother who won as well, right? Michelle, would you come on down? Here's your first place ribbon. Come on over here and let's read your picture. At the very top it says, "My town is clean." It says, "My town is clean because the cleaning crew is always hard at work, picking up trash, mowing the grass, and watering the plants to keep our parks clean and green. They also plant signs to remind us to pick up waste." So Michelle, why don't you hold that for me, and let's turn around right here and scoot over just a little bit. Big smile.
One, two.
Right here. All right, awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. All right, so we're going to get these up in town hall, and then we'll be in touch to get lunch set up with you guys. And since you're brother and sister, I only have to buy one, right? You can split it. No, I'm just kidding. We'll buy you a full lunch, big time. So thank you all very much for participating and for giving us such fine artwork for our town. Thank you. All right. All right, so next up on our agenda is our Parker Chamber of Commerce update. Mr. Houston.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Good evening. Sorry.
I'm going to show something here in a moment. Another tough crowd to follow, I tell you. I got a sweet spot here on the agenda. I think all three of the winners could certainly run the Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center someday with all the great things they have to say about our community. So I better be looking over my shoulder in the next few years. So. A few updates from the Chamber of Commerce. You oftentimes hear me say, on behalf of our 600 area businesses and the 18,000 employees it represent. I wanted to show that to you graphically. But that, right now, all you see is a bunch of dots or pinpoints on a map. But what we've done is taken those 600 members that belong to the Parker Area Chamber of Commerce and plotted those out on a regional map of not only Parker but our surrounding area. And a lot of the things we do are on a regional scope, and this just kind of shows us in black and white, if you will, of that regional reach that we do have and that impact we have on a lot of the programming we do. And so just wanted to share that with you. Of course, Parker is still our concentration, but we have a couple hundred businesses that either do business in Parker or have clients in Parker. And so we're honored to serve as that conduit and that organization that can connect those businesses with our community and our community with those businesses. So I wanted to share that with you. A few other things. Small Business Development Center, we're working on some programming for 2018 on some regional workshops for not only small business owners that are currently in place, but also those that are looking to start a small business. So look for some cool things coming there. We held our August wine walk a few weeks ago. Had over 1,000 people downtown. Once again, many of our restaurants and pubs in the area and retail stores indicated that was their biggest night of the month. So we're excited to expose those businesses to our community. Actually had one of our downtown churches join the Chamber of Commerce this week so they could participate in a wine walk to gain that exposure for their church, which we thought was kind of cool.
That's your kind of church, huh, Debbie?
Sorry about that. We have some reorganization going on with our Young Professionals group, which are all of our business people that are part of the chamber that are 40 years old or younger. We have this dynamic leadership team that's been put in place of 8 or 10 individuals that are looking at proactive ways how they can engage our young professionals more actively in our community, not just in the chamber, but in the community as a whole. So we're excited for that, and they have some great things they're working on in some strategic planning sessions they're working on over the next few months. So some good things coming down the road there as well. We hosted our last Movies in the Park for the season. Didn't have a lot of great luck this year with weather in those first two, with some rain and typhoon winds of sorts, but nonetheless, we had hundreds of families that came out to join us at the last session a few weeks ago. Our team has been part of a number of meetings with our regional partners over the last few weeks, looking at how do we collaborate on some regional solutions to some of those problems that not only we're facing in Parker, but they're facing in Centennial, Lone Tree, Highlands Ranch, Castle Rock, but looking at how can we partner more closely on being the voice for that attainable housing that we talk about so much during each legislative session, but looking at a focus on that, some transportation solutions, as well as that workforce pipeline as well. So some great things coming down the road there, and we'll certainly keep it posted as those develop. We hosted our inaugural Chamber Night at the Rockies last Friday. Had a number of people from the community and business leaders down at Coors Field last Friday. Everyone had a lot of fun. And one last thing, we had a number of volunteers join us today at the Chamber offices to help us with one of our monthly projects, and that was sending out hundreds of relocation packets to those people who are looking for information about Parker. And on the flip side of that is phase 2 of that program, sent out hundreds of mailers today too to all those new residents who are joining us as our new neighbors. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Council, do you have any questions for Dennis? No? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right, next item on our agenda is public comment. This is an opportunity for you to come up and address council. There is a 3-minute time limit on each item, and this is for general public comment. So if you're here specifically for an item that is on the agenda, then there will be a public comment point during those hearings. So this is for general public comment. No action will be taken, and we'll open it up at 7:29 p.m. I go left to right because there's only like 3 public in the room, so. All right. If you could, state your name and address for the record, please. You're going to see right above me there's a clock that's going to count down to 3 so you know how much time you've got. I'm sorry?
Can I do the paper thing too?
Absolutely. Put it right in the middle of that X, and you got to flip it around, though. There you go. All right. So if you'll do your name and address for the record, please, and then the timer will start.
Yeah. My name's Jamie Vandergrift. I live at 10969 Pastel Point in Parker, Colorado, 80134.
Excellent.
Okay. This is only my second time at a council meeting.
You're fine. We're all teddy bears here.
You do seem like a very nice group of people, for sure. So I'm a member of Citizens Climate Lobby, which is a nonprofit, nonpartisan advocacy organization focused on national policies to address climate change. CCL has 82,000 members and 3,100 members in Colorado. On October 21st at 2 p.m., I am hosting the CCL Energy Freedom Tour at the Parker Library. Our regional director, Bill Barron, will be presenting ideas on how we can protect our air and water while growing jobs and boosting the economy in Parker and across Colorado. I have additional information, pamphlets, flyers that I can share about CCL and the tour. I'm requesting that members of the council attend the presentation. If you're not able to attend the presentation, or if you'd like some one-on-one time, I'm happy to set up time with you and the Energy Freedom Tour leads, either on the day of the 21st or the Friday before. They are coming from out of town, from Utah and other states. So thank you for your time, and I hope you guys can attend. And I'd also ask that anyone listening in, if you could also attend, it'd be greatly appreciated. You can look us up on Colorado Energy Freedom Tour on Facebook, or our tiny URL is tiny.cc/CO tour.
Excellent. If you would give those, the brochures and such to the young man sitting here to your left, and he'll make sure that it gets distributed correctly. Always call the attorney young man. That's just the kind of the rule of thumb. He actually is only 24. He dyes his hair silver. It doesn't. I don't know. All right. Anyone else for public comment?
It's distinguished.
Distinguished. All right, seeing none, we're going to close public comment at 7:32 PM and move on to the next item, which is reports, items, and comments from mayor and council. Debbie?
This last week, the majority of us attended the Civic Academy at the Pace Center. Some of us did the tour. I did not. I found out sitting in the front seat. I tend to get car sick, so nobody wants to see that. We had a nice meal and great, lively conversation amongst the council and the citizens who participated. I've been told by different staff members, at least 3 different staff members, that some of the public there that night said it was probably the most enlightening and engaging that they had seen council. They've not seen us in all facets of our lives, but we did pretty good that night. Also, on Friday night, I attended a fashion show at Pace that the benefit went to the Parker Creative District. I was able to go to Oktoberfest just briefly on Sunday. That was, it seemed like a pretty good event. It ended a little bit suddenly on Sunday afternoon with our unpredictable Colorado weather. And 2 Saturdays ago, we had Barker Days at the closing of our swimming pool, and we had a lot of participants. I think 650. 1,300 as it turned out.
1,300 doggies.
650 registered, and that many just were walk-ups. So it was a really great event. A majority of council came and went and participated in that, whether you had a dog or not. So that, I think that's all that's occurred in the last week or so.
Okay. Renee?
So in addition to doing, is this on?
Is your green light? No, it's not on.
There we go, now it's on. So in addition to doing some of the things that Debbie mentioned, I was able to golf in the Parker Adventist Foundation golf tournament, so that was fun. We had the Parker Master Plan stakeholder meeting. I was one of the judges for the poster contest that we just saw the awards given for. And Amy and I got to deliver goodie baskets to the police station and to Pace for thanking our employees for Cities in Town Week. Did I say already? Finance liaison meeting, had that. We also attended the Years of Service banquet.
Yes.
We were at that also. And Chamber Night at the Rockies. So it was a busy, busy week.
Okay. Josh?
Just to reiterate, we had years of service. I think that was fabulous. Our own town clerk, employee number 1 here at the town of Parker. Oops, sorry, I stole Amy's thunder.
That's okay, I'm just checking it off.
Cheryl Baumgartner had 35 years devoted to this town, and probably many more before that. But it was nice to recognize her. And then the Civic Academy dinner was fabulous. It's a chance to get to know citizens that are going through a 10-week process to learn more about their town and how it is that it functions. And it's just it's great to meet other citizens and to let them know that we are citizens just like them, and gives them a chance to put a face to the name.
Okay. Amy?
Okay.
With the exception of
With the
announcing.
exception of everything else that's been said already, I did
No,
have
you
a
can say it, I'm
Centennial
just teasing.
Airport Noise Authority Roundtable meeting. If you ever do have an issue with noise with airplanes, just Google Centennial Airport Noise, email me, I'll get you the correct link to register a complaint, and they are followed up upon very quickly. Also, after Barker Days, we had movies in the park, and that was a great turnout, and it was really fun because, like Dennis had mentioned earlier, some of those had been rained out in the past, and so it was a nice, beautiful evening, and I think a great way to close the season on those. What else do we have here? Also, just a couple of our other updates in regards to our police department. We do have Coffee with a Cop coming up on October 4th. That's on a Wednesday, and that'll be held over at the Donut House next to Sprouts from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Incidentally,
If
there's nothing
And this is
implied.
probably the first time I think we've ever held it at a donut shop, to my knowledge. But anyway, no
Nothing
jokes.
implied.
None whatsoever.
no offense, guys.
None, no.
I like bagels.
they like bagels.
And another update also on PD and Josh Martin and I both serve as liaisons to our police department, and there's always a million things going on with them, but something that I'd really like to share with the community is that two of our officers, Don Cashman and Doreen Jokers, have been working down in Florida, in Marathon, Florida, on flood recovery, emergency preparedness. I believe Don just returned, Doreen is still down there, and so they have a lot of great information to bring back as far as, you know, what can you learn from a situation like this that can help us in our community, and also what they have learned probably not to do in some emergency situations, which every community encounters, and you can use that as a lesson. And then the only other thing on that one, oh, we saw Paul Reiser at the Pace Center on Saturday night, and anyone who grew up with him as a comedian or in movies or on the, you know, TV shows, things like that, it was such a fantastic night, and the entire house was just laughing. People were walking out just still chuckling about his comedy, and it was really good. And just, again, I don't know what you're doing down there, but
Oh, I said he was in Beverly Hills Cop.
he was in
And
Beverly
yeah,
Hills
Josh
Cop.
was like, really?
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, but it was just, again, another great opportunity to bring a well-known artist to the Pace Center for our community.
Aliens, too.
And aliens.
Yeah, and Aliens. Oh, yeah, he was the.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did
nicely
really
done.
cute improv Q&A too, so it was pretty fun.
Josh.
Just on top of everything else, the mayor and I liaise, I guess is
We
the correct word,
liaised.
to the economic development groups. We had that meeting today before the council meeting, which was great with some of the improvements that they're doing, both to their website and information that we can get out, as well as other projects that may ultimately come down the pipe. So outside of everything else, that's the only other thing I'd add.
Okay. In reverse order, starting with the most recent, obviously Oktoberfest this last weekend was great. It was nice to get to tap the first keg, and this was the first time in 5 years that I didn't injure somebody doing it, so it worked out really well with that. I also entered a mustache competition, but got skunked. Didn't even come close. I had my mustache curled up pretty good, but it didn't matter. I still didn't win. I was the MC at the Parker Panache fashion show on Friday. All the proceeds to benefit the Parker Creative District, and they sold out of tickets. It was a great show, great time. We had the Years of Service banquet last week as well, which I spoke at, which was always cool to recognize employees and their time that's been here. It's a testament of the town as an employer, of how many employees hang around and stay, which is great. So we had everything from 5-year recognitions all the way up to 35-year recognitions. I delivered employee baskets last week to the rec center and the field house. I was also last week I was the keynote speaker, a telecast speaker with 22 mayors from Alberta, Canada. They contacted me in regards to how the legalization of marijuana in Colorado has affected us as a municipality. They are not exactly north of us, but fairly close, so it's the same time zone. And Canada, I guess in 2018, as a country, has legalized marijuana use. And so these smaller communities about the size of Parker are really kind of slammed with, what do we do? A lot of them were very similar to Parker, where when 64 was on the ballot, by far the majority of our citizens in Parker voted against it, but it passed as a statewide initiative. It's the same scenario there. A lot of those communities are not in support, but it's a Canadian law. So it was kind of nice to go over them with that. And then last but not least, for those who don't know why I had to shave my beard off 2 weeks or a week and a half ago, I had the opportunity to fly in an F-16, and so I had to have the beard shaved off so the mask could touch skin, and it was a pretty cool experience. The Air National Guard does an incredible job out there. It was interesting to find out that about 20% of the personnel for the Air National Guard live in Parker, and so that was part of the connection of this. So it was a really cool experience to have. To go up for an hour. I did get sick. They said 80% of the men get sick and 40% of the women get sick. So women, you got a leg up if you fly an F-16.
No, I couldn't.
So, all right, and that's all I got.
You can't ride in a
I can't
bus.
ride
You can't ride in a bus,
I can
yeah.
run the back seat.
Yeah, it was cool though. All right, next up, we're going to move to item number 6. This is our consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine, will be enacted with one motion and one vote unless a council member asks to have something removed for further discussion. So council, we have consent agenda items 6A through 6I.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve items A through I with the exception of item H.
Second?
We have a motion by Josh Rivero and a second by Renee. Council, please vote. And there we go. Motion passes unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve consent item 6H with addition to paragraph 3E of the town administrator agreement.
Second.
We have a motion by Josh and a second by Amy. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Is it official now?
It is official now. So what just happened is, Michelle, would you stand up and actually come over here a little bit?
Join
So
us.
Tom, like zoom in on her a little bit, okay? This is Michelle is now
Are you-
officially our new town administrator for the town of Parker. She's gone from deputy town administrator to interim town administrator, and now this makes Michelle the head honcho. So
Boss of bosses.
congratulations. All right, next item up is our town administrator's report. Michelle, do you have anything to add to what's already in your report?
No, I just wanted to say thank you very much for appointing me town administrator. I'm very, very excited and thrilled to have this opportunity. As you all know, I've been a resident of Parker for 16 years, and I've worked for the town for 5, and it's just a dream come true to be working here as town administrator, so thank you. I do have a couple of work-related reports. I wanted to mention that, as I've mentioned to a few of you individually, I have been networking and reaching out to some of our other peers in the other organizations. And so Dennis with the Chamber, he and I have started coordinating a monthly meeting to share information between our organizations. I've started meeting with Doug DeBoard, the county manager for Douglas County, on a monthly basis as well, to share information and to work on projects closer, as well as with the other Douglas County managers.
All right.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right, so next up is item number 8, public hearings. The first item we have is for Verizon Commercial Mobile Radio Service, CMRS facility, use by special review. Carolyn, you're going to be our lead for tonight?
I guess so.
All right.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This application is a request for approval of a use by special review to establish a Verizon wireless equipment facility on a leased portion of Public Service Company of Colorado, otherwise known as PSCO, their electrical right-of-way corridor. The applicant is Rutherford Enterprises. Their representative is Larry Otterstein. Mr. Otterstein is here this evening to answer any questions that the council might have. Appropriate verification of required public notice has been provided by the applicant. The applicant is proposing to establish a Verizon wireless equipment facility on a leased portion of Lot 3A of Parker Pavilion's commercial development. The parcel is located at 11315A South Parker Road, which is east of Pavilion Drive and north of 20 Mile Road, near Home Depot and Walmart. The location is denoted by the red triangle on this slide. The parcel is located in the Greater Downtown District Market Center, which is the commercial core of the town. Telecommunications uses are allowed in this commercially zoned area, subject to a use by special review as required in the Land Development Ordinance. The parcel contains an existing Public Services of Colorado electrical transmission line and is currently landscaped with sod, shrubs, and includes one existing tree to be relocated. Surrounding land uses are entirely commercial development. The applicant is proposing a 392 square foot equipment enclosure near the base of an existing PSCO utility tower. The equipment enclosure will be 8 feet tall and constructed of split-face concrete masonry units clad with decorative masonry to match the adjacent commercial buildings. Equipment mounted on the existing tower will consist of 9 new antennas, 9 new radio heads, and 3 new diplexers mounted at a height of 35 feet. All mounted equipment will be painted to match the tower. Ground equipment located within the enclosure will include various radio cabinets, a backup generator, and associated cabling. Equipment will not be visible above the enclosure. The CMRS facility will be maintained by technicians periodically accessing the facility via light-duty trucks and repair vehicles. Access to the facility is proposed from the adjacent parking area that serves Qdoba Mexican Grill and Colonna Pizza. The facility is not manned and will typically require only monthly maintenance visits. The facility is visible from the adjacent roadways and commercial properties. The terms of the applicant's lease with Piesco allows for limited landscaping, buffering, and screening. The applicant is proposing 8 new shrubs to screen the southern wall of the enclosure. In addition to the applicant's proposal for moderate landscaping, the enclosure will be clad in decorative masonry units that will match the masonry on adjacent commercial structures. The Town of Parker Land Development Ordinance specifies 9 criteria against which all use by special review requests must be evaluated. The intent of these criteria are to ensure that the proposed use will be consistent with the character of the surrounding area and that potential impacts that are inconsistent with the surrounding area have been mitigated. Staff has evaluated these criteria and determined that all 9 criteria have either been satisfied or will be satisfied with the recommended conditions. The 3 recommended conditions contained on the next slide are based on the evaluation of these 9 criteria, but also with consideration of the comments from the referral agencies. There were no comments resulting from the public notice process. Number 1, the use by special review materials dated July 31st, 2017 and submitted to the Community Development Department on September 5th, 2017, shall be the approved use by special review materials. Any alteration, modification, substitution, or revision, including but not limited to colors, materials, building placement, massing, or site access, shall be at the discretion of the Community Development Director, who reserves the right to require said proposed changes to be reviewed and approved by the Planning Commission. 2, this approval shall expire 12 months after the date of approval unless grading permits have been issued. The Community Development Director, upon written request, may grant a 90-day extension. And 3, approval of this use by special review does not constitute a building permit approval. A separate building permit is required. Staff has determined that the use by special review for a CMRS facility in the Piesco utility easement located near the intersection of 20 Mile Road and Pavilion Drive meets the goals of the master plan to provide sustainable and reliable public services to residents, businesses, and visitors in an efficient and cost-effective manner, and provides adequate visual mitigation and is compatible with the current utility use, and meets or can meet the 9 criteria required for a use by special review, subject to the conditions contained in staff's report. At the public hearing before the Planning Commission on September 14, 2017, this request was unanimously recommended for approval. Staff and the Planning Commission recommend that Town Council approve the use by special review request to construct a commercial mobile radio services facility, subject to the 3 conditions contained in staff's report. And that concludes my presentation.
And that's it. All right, thank you very much. Council, before we invite Larry up, Council, do you have any questions for Carolyn? No? Does the applicant have anything else to add to it? No? I see you're shaking your head back there. Just want to give you the opportunity in case. Nope. All right, since this is a public hearing, we'll open it up for public comment at 7:50 p.m. if there's anyone here to address council. All right, we don't have to line them up. All right, good. We're going to close public comment at 7:51 p.m. and I'll entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I may move to approve based upon staff findings with the conditions contained in the staff report.
Second.
Motion by Josh, second by Amy. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is item number 9. This is for ordinance number 5.35.4 on second reading. This is a bill for an ordinance amending Title 7 of the Parker Municipal Code, revising penalties for misuses of a wireless telephone while driving, and prohibiting driving under restraint in conformance with 2017 state legislation. We got law here, and we got the lawyer up at the podium. Mr. Maloney.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The town uses the 2010 Model Traffic Code to enforce the traffic laws of the state of Colorado. This year, there were 2 changes to the model traffic code. One is sort of near and dear to us, and that's House Bill 171162. And I'd like to at least address the fact that Corey the Hawk Hoffman, as well as our court administrator, Sue Ratliff, were very instrumental in the passage of this particular bill, and would certainly support town council approving it. What this bill did was previously if you were convicted of a traffic violation, points were assessed, you did not pay the fine, it was reported to motor vehicle. If you got picked up and you were charged, you could be imprisoned. You could be imprisoned up to 6 months. The ACL took a dim view of this, so the state legislature wanted to change it. We wanted something that retained teeth. So although the jail penalty has gone away, it is now a violation to have a judgment assessed against you and not pay your fine. You could be subject to another fine and up to 3 points against your driving privileges. So it is still something to encourage people who are convicted to pay their fines. The second one is Senate Bill 1727, and this deals with the use of electronic devices. So if you are under the age of 18 and you have a electronic device, a cell phone, and you're using that cell phone, you could be subject to fine and penalty. This bill would increase the penalty, which was previously 1 point, to a 4-point violation, as well as increasing the fine from 100 to 300. It also imposes a penalty if you're 18 years of age or older and you're texting while driving, but it's a very high threshold in terms of proof. We would have to prove that you were actually driving in a careless and imprudent fashion while using your device. And again, same increase in points as well as penalty. Any questions, Mayor and Council?
Council?
If I'm under 18, how many points do I have on my license to begin with?
If you get 5 within a 12-month period, you lose your driving privileges.
So don't text.
He's over it.
He's barely over 18. All right, without any questions, we'll open it up for public comment at 7:54 p.m. Seeing that we have 2 members of the public in the audience. Dennis, 3, but I know you don't text in the car, so. Can we text our questions? You can text your
Not
easy.
driving.
Yeah, easy. All right, seeing none, we're going to close public comment at 7:54 p.m., and I'll entertain further discussion or motion.
I'm sorry, just one more question. Is it up to the officer's discretion, or is it mandatory?
It's always up to the officer's discretion to issue a citation,
Thank you.
as opposed to just giving a warning.
All right, roughly 25% of all accidents now are a result of distracted driving.
Absolutely.
So regardless of age group, but
Absolutely.
one out of every 3 drivers within the first 3 years of having their license will be in an accident. So I mean, there's a reason to focus on this particular age group.
Everybody find some wood close by and knock on it. Right?
No, I fully understand. I definitely know this is a problem, but it's a steep price to pay for something I may witness in the driving down a car. I mean,
Just so you know, in our process, if a juvenile has a citation, its first offense, good attitude with the police officer, will quite often reduce the number of points, maybe impose some education as a part of that.
Thank you. That's what I was after. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I move to approve ordinance number 5.35.4 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Amy, second by Debbie. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is item number 10. This is ordinance number 9.270 on second reading. This is a bill for an ordinance to approve the intergovernmental terms of use for the Douglas County Emergency Vehicle Operations Course by and between the town of Parker and the county of Douglas, state of Colorado. You know, Chris, if I'd have realized this was your item, I'd have asked to have it moved to the end just to make you wait the whole night. Oh, I'm just teasing. I know the tear. Tear runs down his face. Single tear. Single tear. Just kidding. Chris, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Wipe the tears. Man.
Yes. This agreement is required by the Highlands Ranch Police Academy, of which we currently send our sponsorship recruits for post-certification. We have 2 there currently. The academy has recently built a driving track on their property. They hadn't had one before. And they've asked that for our recruits and any other members, like if we wish to use this in the future for our employees to use for driving training, that we enter into this agreement. It's been reviewed by our town attorneys and risk management for the town of Parker, and staff agrees that this is appropriate.
Okay. Council, any questions?
Is it, so it's essentially a hold harmless if we're using their facility? That,
He looks right at Jim.
Council.
We do not agree to hold harmless or indemnity. There is an insurance provision in there, so all we have to demonstrate is that we carry insurance.
gotcha. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Public comment, 7:57. Be there or be square. Anybody? Nope. No. I'm looking at you. No public comment. All right. We'll close public comment at 7:57 p.m. Entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
Move to approve ordinance 9.270 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Josh, second by Amy. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item on our agenda, item number 11. This is ordinance number 1.504 on second reading. This is a bill for an ordinance to vacate a drainage easement on real property owned by Compark Land Company pursuant to section 13.07.120C5 of the Parker Municipal Code. Alex,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
you would have preferred me to put Chris at the end, so you would have been earlier, right?
Yes.
He
I
left,
always seem
so
to
he
be
didn't even
last.
get it, so that's all right. You're up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This easement is located on the Compark Village Filing Number 8 property, located at the southeast corner of Compark Boulevard and Chambers Road. This easement was dedicated to the town back in 2012 as part of a development plan that proposed a stormwater detention pond in the southeast corner of this property. This easement was dedicated to cover the stormwater pond, which ultimately did not move forward with development at that time. The developer has since revised their concepts for the property, which has caused a modification of the proposed detention pond. They dedicated a new drainage easement covering this new pond, and so this original easement is no longer necessary to cover any infrastructure on the property. So with this in mind, the developer has requested that the town vacate this easement in order to remove this encumbrance from the property. Staff does recommend approval of the ordinance vacating this easement.
Okay. Council, questions? Nope. Public comment, 7:59 p.m. Seeing none, close public comment at 7:59 and motion, please.
Move to approve ordinance number 1.504 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Josh, second by Josh. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is item number 12. This is for ordinance number 1.505 on second reading. A bill for an ordinance to vacate a drainage easement on real property owned by Compark Business Campus Metropolitan District pursuant to section 13.07.120C5 of the Parker Municipal Code. Alex, uno mas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a similar request to the previous item. This easement is located on the Compark Village Filing Number 7 property at the northwest corner of E470 and Chambers Road. This easement was dedicated to the town in 2015 with the development plan for this property. When the developer broke ground on these improvements, they unfortunately found underground encumbrances that required a lot of mitigation and ultimately a redesign of the stormwater infrastructure proposed for the property. One stormwater pipe, which was covered by this easement, had to be realigned to the north. This redesign has been complete and approved. The developer has granted a new easement covering this pipe, so the original easement, again, no longer necessary to cover any infrastructure and has been requested to be vacated by the developer. Staff does recommend approval of this ordinance as well.
Okay. Council? No questions? Public, 8 o'clock. No comments? Tom, are you raising your hand? You want to give a comment? Oh, you were just adjusting the camera. All right, we'll close public comment at 8 p.m. and I'll entertain a motion, please.
I move to approve ordinance number 1.505 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Amy, second by Josh. Council, please vote. Please vote.
Vote again.
Vote again. Motion passes unanimously. Next item is ordinance number 5.28.22 on second reading. This is a bill for an ordinance to amend Chapter 5.02 of the Parker Municipal Code concerning authorization for administrative approvals for certain liquor license applications. Mr. Maloney.
Mayor and council, the purpose of the ordinance before you this evening is to expedite the approval process for certain liquor applications. The Special Licensing Authority, which typically handles these items, has reviewed this request, and they're recommending that you approve the ordinance that's in your packet this evening. Basically, there's two types of administrative considerations. The first type are under subsection A, and that's items 1 through 5. So if it's a referral application, transfer of ownership, change of corporate status, manager registration, and change of managers, and change of trade name, those could be approved administratively unless something came up in the either a background check, or if it's the renewal of an existing liquor application and there's been some liquor code violations. In those cases, the town clerk's office would push it up to the special licensing authority and they would address those issues. Otherwise, the town clerk's office could go ahead and administratively approve those applications. The second class would not concern any derogatory information because typically it's not going to come up. This would be temporary permits during the time in which there is a transfer application pending, changing, altering, or modifying premises, or tastings applications. Again, those would be approved administratively by the town clerk's office and typically would not be pushed up to the special licensing authority. Any questions, Mayor, Council?
Council? Nope. Okay, we'll open up for public comment at 8:02 p.m. Last chance. Oh, Dennis, you're thinking about it, aren't you, Dennis? You're Irish, so you support it. Nice. All right, we're going to close public comment at 8:03 p.m., and I'll entertain further discussion or a motion, please.
I move to approve ordinance number 5.28.22 on second reading.
Second.
Motion by Josh and a second by Josh. Council, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. With no further business before council, we will recess at 8:03 p.m. so we can reconvene in our executive session in a few minutes.